What's going on, you awesome creators, and welcome to Meetup Mondays, where we take tips and tricks and help you along your study journey while motivating you at the same time. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 5 different ways of taking study notes. So let's jump into the video. Note-taking is an awesome way to engage in class and give you guys a basis for revision when it comes to exam time. Studies show that if you don't rehash over the same old content, that just after one day, you're going to drop down to 60% retention, and after 2 days it drops even lower. So note-taking is an awesome way to combat this, and in this video, like I said, we're going to cover 5 different note-taking methods. The first of which is the CORNELL method. The CORNELL method is awesome and well-organized system of note-taking. It splits the page up into 3 different categories. Top left-hand corner, we've got the main points and ideas and different questions that might get formulated. This is awesome for reading back over your notes after class and putting down all the main points. The top right-hand corner in the main section is where the body of the notes is kind of stored. This is where you're going to write all your notes that you kind of covered in class. Remember to write as much as you can because you can always come back to it later. The very bottom of the page covers all your summary. This is an awesome little place to recap each day or each lecture and go over and write down all the main points. This will give you a little snapshot of everything you covered in that lecture and is awesome for revision at the end of semester. Ideally, the paper is divided into a 6cm margin on the left hand side, leaving the rest of the page for all of your note taking, and then down the bottom leave about 5cm for all your summaries. The next method we're going to talk about is the outlining method. This is my personal favorite and the one that I'll kind of use the most. However, it does have some drawbacks, such as if there is a lot of content being covered in the lecture, it can be a little bit slow because it takes more organization to set up. However, it does tend to show the relationships between main ideas and all the key points. Furthermore, it's also awesome for creating some study questions ready for exam revision. In this method, at the top of the page you have the main idea, followed by a few subheadings up below that, and then indenting in to form the body or the different notes that you take during the lesson. Moving on from this, we have the mapping method. The mapping method is very much like the outlining method, however it is more of a visual representation. So at the top of the page you've got things like the main ideas, which then kind of branch out into 2 different bubble diagrams that cover your key topic. These then have your different notes underneath them. Although I like this kind of method, it does seem somewhat limiting when you start having more than a few key topics, as the page fills up and it becomes a big mess. The next 2 methods are the charting method and the sentence method. In the charting method, you're going to divide up the page into separate columns. It's usually a good idea to know the main topics that the lecture will cover ahead of time so that you can write these in your columns. This is why I don't overly like this, because if you have a lecturer that isn't overly organized and doesn't actually put up lecture slides ahead of the actual lecture, it makes it very hard for you to get into the swing of things, as you need to kind of play catch up throughout the lecture. It also has a steep learning curve and does take a little bit to get used to. This method works, however, by putting different subheadings into different columns, and then as you come along, different things that relate to those different things, you place those notes in that column. And finally, the sentence method. The sentence method dictates that you'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the side of the page and up to whatever you need to, and as a sentence is mentioned in your lecture, you're going to write that down. This is awesome for cross-referencing, as you can at point 6 say, please refer back to point 2. So in that way, it is really awesome. However, it does have some limitations, as you're only grabbing key sentences that jump out at you during the lecture. This method is awesome for fast-moving lectures and where there is a lot of content delivered. So guys, those are the 5 methods for note-taking. Let me know in the comments down below which one's your preferred one, which one you're currently using, and which one you'd like to implement in future. If this video has helped you, leave a thumbs up and I'll see you guys on the next video.